Any other questions, comments, concerns? About this, Monday or about, the land thing coming up?
I think we should learn rain.
Pardon?
We should learn rain dance.
I thought that was you that did that then.
No,
Rain lots.
it did.
You got this,
Yes.
okay, did you get one?
No, I couldn't. Not yet.
Okay. There's a best one on the market. And check them all, and this is pretty good. It has the phrases in case you're lost in some city. Famous line is where questions, comments? Okay. I didn't run around for handout because nobody said you would join us. Come on, Dominic. Okay. One of the things that I wanted to talk about also is, I guess, the protocol to medicine picking, because there's a lot of medicines being started to be picked. And I just wanted to go with that for a little while because there's lots of medicines disappearing. They're not coming back when people pick them. And a lot of it is the people that pick medicine don't really know how to. And usually you pick at least three or four plants from each family. And you go to different families and you're picking medicines. And you also pretty well have to pray as you're picking the plants, and keep the prayer to thanking the creation for the medicines and for the medicines, and thank them for the okay in using them. My grandmother used to always say that it's impossible for a disease to be here on this world without the cure being here first. That is how much confidence we're supposed to have with our medicines. And if we are sick with something, that means that there is a cure someplace, and what we are required to do is to either go to a lodge, shaking pen lodge, a sweat lodge, or go to a sacred fire and put in medicines, and pray for the vision of seeing what will help us see the medicine. While I'm on that subject also, because it's something that's starting up, is when we, a lot of us, hey home, I missed you. I look for you all over the place. Well, anyway, here anyway. Yeah, we all like to pray and pray to creation to see if we can have the strength to leave the drugs alone. What do you call that, medicine? And we pray to Creator to help us, give us the strength to get out of that drugs, whatever drug we're on. But what people fail to do is to pray to the spirit of the medicine. Tell the medicine that I no longer have the need for you in my life. I have learned what I'm supposed to learn. And I would like to continue on. And continue on without that help, the direction that I've been on so far. And it seems to work very well. It worked with my tobacco, it worked with my cigarettes, worked with a few other things in my life. And it's just how much belief you have. It all goes back to how much belief you have in yourself. Put yourself all that down. Be confident that you're going to have the answer that you're asking for. And the answer is always there. Sometimes maybe you're not ready for what you've asked for, and you keep on asking. I'm going to find time to go and get some medicine in Manitoba this summer, and go and get about 8 leaf bags of sage. I was out there picking, 3 years ago, picking sage, because I used to have to bring it for the correctional centers in surrounding areas. I used to go get 8 or 9 big bags of that, fill it up with a couple of other people, and there were bags full and everything. Somebody always stopped and said, "Hey, what are you doing there?" Well, finally I said, "Well, I'm going to do a story this time." Oh no, we're just picking some of the sage here, and so we don't have this over in Ontario. And oh yeah, what do you use it for? I said, "Well, no, I trade. We trade." Oh yeah, what do you trade for? Oh, whatever, I just trade. And, it's usually if I trade for money, it's usually $2,000 a bag. I said, "Oh, 2,000, hey, that's let's count my bags." 16,000. God, I was bad. I was probably crawling around for days trying to pick sage. No, I'm just kidding. I told not to I was kidding. I didn't want to see him crawling around. But there's a lot of good sage over there. The stuff is really strong, and it's stronger when a woman is just like cedar, seagrass. It's stronger when a woman picks sage. Really clear a whole room with that. They've actually, does anybody know that they've actually done a tested that sage? Tested a room, and they found out that it cleared the room of toxic energy for a day and a half to 2 days. It's really good. It's no longer a pipe dream or anything that is real. And tested. Any comments or any questions on the 6? Yes.
I'm just wondering, why do you think that is? When the elders have said that no disease comes without its medicine, its curing medicine. It's any thoughts on that? It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's the command of creation from creator to creation, that there'll always be medicine when the disease gets here. There'll always be a medicine to look after. Because it would be totally, there's a word for that. It would be totally unethical, I guess, in a way, with creation, the sickness here for the medicine. That's how the medicine is usually always present. So that a person, when they get sick with something, they realize, okay, well, all I got to do is find what's going to be beneficial. Because what medicine people will do is they will pray. It's really funny because when we talk about praying, I also knew that nama the word nama, it comes from somewhere other than prayer. We nama when you go to church to pray. You're gonna go do your thing with creation, and the connecting spirit and physical, the connecting those two is the job of the pipe. When you light the pipe, you say the prayer, and you light the pipe, and you inhale the medicine into your mouth. That is the connecting of spirit and physical, the spirit world and the physical world. That is the connection. That is the connection that opens the veil for you to be able to witness what is happening with your healing. When you open that door, which is what we use with a shishi, when pushes back the energy so that the opportunity to heal for the person to heal themselves can happen. And because the physical and the spirit have been connected. I was reading something that home, my friend there, passed on to me, and it reminded me of that teaching. Our direction. When you make a move as if of uncertainty, and you move uncertainly in the ceremony, it kind of makes it difficult for you to be able to experience what you're opening the door to. It's almost like when we talk about saying the word God in vain, it's all basically this. There is a reason for that, because the reason I understand either way is I understood saying the word God in vain, and then I understood also that when you give tobacco for someone, if you give tobacco to a conductor or firekeeper to go into a lodge or to visit the sacred fire, and you give the tobacco to the person, and you don't show up, you are literally saying the word God in vain. You are asking for help for no reason. So you're supposed to be able to follow the tobacco. And when you give the tobacco, you have to trust that that tobacco is going to help you with what you're going to be doing. So, yeah, Jeff is putting out some pretty fancy pictures.
I didn't want to disturb you.
Well, I'm disturbed already.
I think it did the opposite by shutting it off.
Oh, yeah. Hope you're enjoying this as much as I am.
I am. Gee, McGuetch.
Any questions on that? Any comments? Yes.
The study you mentioned about clearing the room, how do they
Oh, you what?
quantify that? Or is it a quality?
Here's my dictionary. Quantify.
The
How did they do this?
yeah, like how did they do this study to figure it out?
How did they do
How did
this?
they measure the
Energy, the toxic energy.
yeah?
I guess it would be the same way they study the pollution in the air, somewhere along those lines. They can do that.
Yeah. Okay,
And it's been used even, I was going to study, see if I can get a test done with the English words and Ojibwe words. And, just to check it out, because I've always said that our language comes from the heart. That we have a brain in our heart. And so our language is supposed to come from the heart, and the English language is supposed to come from war. It was put together through the experience of war. And so it's a different energy there, eh? A different way of praying. Even praying is an entirely different thing. We usually go to church to talk about God. And me, I go to Sweat Lodge to talk to God. I go to Sacred Fire to talk to God. I do the best I can, like to talk to God as a third person, in the third person, a visiting sort of thing. And I have a whole different experience. I have a whole different feeling inside when I leave the area of prayer. And I go after I've prayed the way I prayed. And I have a different experience when I go and visit at the graveyard. Because I've never visited my family at a graveyard. Because they're not there. If I put the tobacco down and say I'll meet you there, they probably be there. But they're, as a reality, they're not there. The system of belief that I had with my grandmother and my grandfather gives me the confidence to be able to say some of the words that I say. And also to mention some people in this room that I meet. It gives me the confidence. They give me the confidence to be able to say what comes to me. I went to the fire to say the fire this morning before coming here in the bathroom to say the fire. Because it's not so much that I can speak and say things, but I put tobacco there too, so I can be heard. Whatever is coming through me can be heard by people that are listening. I have a really big belief that what we're doing out on the land is really something. I've had about 3 or 4 witnesses that have told me about their journey. And it's really something. I've gone to a few conferences with other language things, and I've never felt that openness. I feel in ears about some people talking about what they're witnessing and what we're doing. And so even my sickness, I decided I'm going to do extra work because I'm going to do extra work. I seem to be getting healthier. And, okay, you want to do some work? Get it wrong. There's no problem. Energy here. Come on. You want to wait for somebody? Here you go. I'm pretty well describing the picture I'm looking at as I say some of these things. It's really funny. Yeah. So, any other questions, comments, concerns? I thought you were going to heckle me today.
Me?
Yeah. Just kidding. I'll be Jeffrey. further on the medicine. One of the things that's interesting for anybody that goes to Vision Mountain, there was 2 more medicines that were found on that mountain that don't belong there, which is really good. When I take a look at when I was young, and I used to go up there with my grandma when I was 7. The medicines that I was finding there, when my grandma says, some of this medicine only shows up here. That's why we come here. And at that time, I didn't really have comprehension of certain things, and I thought, wow, big deal, you know? So what, there's another tree here, or what? Thinking of myself. Didn't really know what I was thinking about. But she knew what she was saying. That the thing that she was saying, I'm seeing them come to life. The one thing that she said is there used to be Shakington ceremonies here. The star people, the little people, the mermaids, they used to come to the ceremonies here. And I was thinking about mermaids. There's a little guy. Read about mermaids in little comic books and children's stories and that. So I can relate to those things, and I think, how does a mermaid get all the way up here in this mountain? It's a magic mermaid. And I told my grandmother, I said, that's really something that really needed. My mom asked, so mom, does you ever? My mom is one way, and they did not. Manda o manis três, manda lá, então o nosso sistema mantido manda faz muito muito. They said that to her when I was a little guy, and she'd say, when you look at magic, and when you look at reality, you don't know reality until you realize you're the one that's making it happen.
Mhm.
And I didn't know what that meant. Today I have an idea. I'm glad some of my things don't come true as my bet. But the manifestation, the understanding of if you believe it, you see it, sort of thing, opposite to the ego of I'll believe it when I see it. It's opposite of that. This one is supposed to be more real and strong, according to what my grandma used to tell me. So just imagining that when I'm 7, 8 years old, and I'm hearing that, and I'm repeating it to use people. His name got fired for saying that use people. But yeah, just the thought of that is kind of really something. To hear those words that my grandmother used to say, and for me to be able to listen to that at the time and not really comprehend what I was hearing. It's quite the deal, and then you grow into something that you've been told, and you grow into it, and you still look down. You have a chance to look at something that is not real in the physical world. I guess my dream is to have the whole room here be able to experience something, to really experience that, to have that open-mindedness, to have that belief, be able to see what you're hearing. Yes.
So deja vu, how does that play into it?
Did I say deja vu?
No, you did not.
Oh,
I'm assigned.
but it's a really good question. The new rage nowadays is we actually plan our journey here, and we go by the Council of Elders, and we review our whole trip on this earth, second by second, to the Council of Elders, so that we may have the blessing to be able to come to this world with that task. And so we go and before we come here, we talk to the Council of Elders. And we show them our film, I guess, second by second. And we experience it. And then we get here, and we're always a split second away from our picture. We're either in a different spot, maybe 5 or 6 inches off the spot, or we're a couple of seconds, a couple of milliseconds away from what's happening. And then sometimes we hit it dead on thing. And then we say, oh, geez, it feels like I've been here before. Wow. And at that moment, somebody gets, when you say, holy cow, I feel like I've been here before. Someone that knows would say, well, you certainly have. You're the one that okayed this to show you that you're on the right path. So a lot of times, if you're having a lot of deja vus, that means you're in the right spot, but somebody's trying to remind you that you have something that you're supposed to be doing in the next little while. Just a little way to operate. Does that explain that?
Yeah.
Explains it, yeah. Good. Because I don't know what I said. I just had to explain that the other day, as a matter of fact. In Ojibwe, we say, Kanabian. So when I started to do this, going to sweat lodges and that, I said, well, there's all kinds of proof in my language of what I'm going to be doing, and what I'm going to be talking about, because there's words for it in my language. And like miigwech, very simple example. Miigwech is such a simple thing. You say, everybody says it means thank you, which makes it even more difficult. But miigwech means he gives, we receive. Nowhere in my language does it mean he gives and I take. It does not say that. When we say miigwech, he gives and we receive. When we say receive, it means we acknowledge he gave. We acknowledge he gave.
As a generosity.
As
a generosity.
Yes. Yeah. Can you explain what you just said? Say that again.
Generosity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when I take a look at how many people, it's right under our noses when we say miigwech. To be able to understand that we're saying he gives and we receive. It explains the powwows. When we dance and we show the Creator miigwech. Because that's what we're doing when we dance and do ceremonies. It shows we say we receive, and this is miigwech. When we do the grass dance, we are saying miigwech. We are dancing miigwech. We don't just say miigwech. We also show miigwech. We celebrate. Because we feel so good about receiving. We put a voice to that receiving, and we hit the drum and send that sound, that voice we give to that feeling inside our hearts. We we hit the drum to send that sound to the universe. And we celebrate them. We say miigwech to the grass, for the grass. Because when we say grass, we're talking about all the medicines and all the vegetables, all the food that we eat. And we say miigwech to the grass. That's what we're doing. And again, miigwech does not mean he gives and we take.
Like reciprocity. Reciprocity, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Any questions, any comments on that? So my friends say, when you mention powers and gratitude and everything, don't convince them because we need to talk. Money. But that's those are the teachings from people like my grandma. The reality at the time was very big. The reality to speak like that at that time, but my grandmother was very, very strong. Because you got shunned, that you were charged with being a witch. You got accused of being carrying witchcraft. And you got that in Ojibwe, you became something else. You became a being that raised havoc among people. And my grandmother experienced that. And when they were told to burn their medicine bags, throw their medicine bags into the pit down in Green Harbor in Sutton. She was 12 years old at the time, and they got her to throw her bag in there too, and she ran away. And they yelled at her, "You're going to go to hell if you don't throw your bag in the pool." And she ran even faster because she could not see herself surviving without that bag. To her, it was the one thing that was keeping her out of that hot place. So she ran really hard. And she went to hide in the mountains for two years. And she survived. She had been known how to look after herself, 12 years old, in catching rabbits, groundhogs, fish, birds, eating wild plants in the bush. There's some really mean tasting sourweed up there in the mountain. Really good for your salad for the weekend. How many of you guys have tasted sourweed? Oh man. Any questions, comments?
Yeah, what is that? Yeah,
What's that?
what is that?
It's a little weed that I guess it would be, I don't know the scientific name,
Is it like
but
a?
to me it says zaalbuk, sealbuk. It's supposed to, it's part of the moss that grows on the rocks. It comes from the same story. There's a story about Nanabush. Nanabush was out roaming around in the bush there, and got a little bit, he got hungry, so he put himself a little garbage with a fire. And he decided to boil himself some soup out of the same garbage. And so he took a birch bark container and put it over a fire, boiled the porridge. So he made some soup, he mixed some sourweed in there, put some little fiddlesticks in there, made a nice little soup for himself. So he went to take a taste and he burnt his lips. So he said, well, geez, I'm gonna put that down here, I'm gonna let it cool off. I'm gonna have a little rest for 5 minutes. And then I'll wake up and my soup will be just ready. So he lay down, but he told his bum to wake him up. In case somebody came along and ate soup or something. So he lay down and went to sleep. Raccoon come along, and, oh, they smoked some soup, eh? So the raccoon ate up the soup, ran away, ran down into the bushes. And when she woke up, looked and he said, oh my God, somebody stole my soup. So he got mad at his bum, because his bum didn't wake him up. So he went and squatted over the fire, punished his bum. True story. So he burned his bum and it hurt, so he ran in the bush, ran through the bushes. As he was running, he started to heal. And so his sword opened up and he hit some trees there, red willows. They weren't red willows before then, but after he went by, they were red willow. So he looked back and he said, okay, this is a magical happening. He says, so for what's happening with red willows now, they're going to teach young people the truth. They're going to teach young people to be honest and tell the truth from now on. So I kept on going. I looked back and all the red willows turned red. Kept on running and he ran to the mountain. And he started getting really itchy because he was starting to get healed up. So he decided to slide on the rocks. He slid down on the rocks. And you see that moss that's growing there? Well, that's what he left behind. He says, and he looked back again and he said, from now on, when the Schnabeg is hungry, he'll be able to make soup out of that moss. And the other thing that he made was those seal bugs. And that's what he made too, as he kept on running. Some of you are probably wondering how he made soup out of birch bark. No? You know how?
A little bit. I don't know. Like, I know where to find the recipe in my cabinet and stuff,
To make the birch bark?
but no, I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah. Did anybody ever try to make soup or hot water with birch bark? Birch bark containers? No? You'll have to try it. I'm serious.
Is it good?
Yeah, I believe
Is it
you.
good? That's good. It's yummy. Oh,
It's yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. But the act is, birch bark burns really fast.
Mm.
So everybody says, well, now he's shooting the bull, right? Is that,
It's a soup of meat.
Leaf or bark?
the chicken, the leaves, and the leaves they'll be part of the soup. The garbage, part of the soup.
And the birch bark is in this.
No, I think you're saying the birch bark is the
Okay.
pot.
The birch bark is the one that holds the water and everything.
Okay.
Yeah,
And over the fire.
You cook it over the fire with the birch bark and it's not catching the fire? You probably soaked it.
Well, there's water on the other side.
So,
That is a good trick.
if you ever
Really?
boil water over an open
Yeah,
fire,
Water keeps it cool.
Yeah, we used to do
Yeah.
plastic bottles, like if you put a plastic bottle that has that has water in it. Like it won't burn, but everything that doesn't have water will burn. So
Exactly.
It'd be like that.
exactly. Yeah, because like in the history books or in some of the science books, everything you see, Indians are throwing rocks into a puddle there to boil the meat and then bologna. We used to have birch bark baskets, make our soups and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few, if they said, what would you do?
Jeremy,
Jeremy, I think Jeremy said, like, furthermore, if you take a pot a steel pot or something, put it over the fire till it's boiling. And the water starts to boil there, take it off and put the bottom and refill. Hold it on the bottom, even though it's boiling. And you've done that in Jim?
So no, I haven't done that one.
So the water can boil.
Yeah.
Amazing.
10 more minutes, anybody got any questions? Let me shut up again. Dominic,
Oh, don't. I just have a comment, your miigwech, he gives, you receive, reminds me of, aniwana, or non-interference. So it's like, it's not taking, it's being, like it's waiting and receiving. I just find that really, really powerful
It is,
as a principle of living, you know,
yeah, it's really easy. When you understand the concept in your heart,
Mhm.
and it becomes a reality in your heart and everything, it's a very strong understanding. Sam's, somebody is probably a met Sam, but you gotta meet Sam because he was right into that. And this is, oh, he's going to say that's a powerful thing. If we all believe that, he says, we would end suffering in North America. And that would be the cast me out, he says.
That's what he's from.
Yeah, I believe him, like, he even speaks French in a sweat lodging. He'll say, open door, in French. He's pretty good, man. I celebrate him every day. Any questions, Jeff?
No, I keep trying to think of questions and it's, I don't have any at the moment.
Okay,
I'm just, receiving what you're giving.
that's good. It's good to have you.
No, I'm happy. I've just been traveling, so.
Yeah.
With work, I'm really happy to be here. Hopefully I'll be there in person next week.
All right. Nice. Hey, any other question?
Is sour wheat red?
No, it's green.
It's green.
Yeah, it's green. It grows about that far off the ground. So it's just a little, you can mistake it. It's like almost like a shiny green.
Mm,
It doesn't have any fuzz like a lot of plants have fuzz on it.
yeah.
This is clean.
And
And
it's
the moment you put it in your mouth, you would taste that it's sour, a little bit of a sour taste. When you mix it with other plants, it really enhances the taste of the other plants.
You would have to show us because Google keeps thinking it's sold and not sour.
I don't know what, I'll try to pick some and bring some in next week. We can probably add it into our corn face or something.
I got dandelions. Put that with the dandelions and with her letters, and good to go.
There's dandelion there, you know.
Corn flakes instead of
It was the best boop I ever had in my life. Boop. Yeah, you know, it took away, the word boop means, home brew.
Mm,
Yeah, oh my God. Better than the ones with potatoes and raisins and all that. When I was 4 years old, and my grandpa made some, he used to make some for ceremony. The big barrel was about this big and about that high. I used to love those raisins. Leaned way over the good raisins. I slipped and I fell in. Almost drowned in home brew when I was 4 years old. Yeah. Crazy. Been crazy ever since. The reminder, I guess, is important. Also, and when you're picking medicines, it's good not to be angry. It's good not to have angry thoughts on you. It's funny because plants, they will hide on you. Because they grow in families, and it's like trees grow in families. It's different with family here and other families. Evergreen trees and birch trees, they grow together too. You don't see them hurting each other. Just a. Yeah. Now, how many questions?
Very much.
Yes.
Oh, no, I was just thinking, one thing that I thought of, and it's just something to think about. Because when you were talking about English as the result of war, right? And so the invasion of the Normans in 1066, we have very little left of the English language, right? Old English. There's, I don't know, half a dozen words that still exist. And I was thinking though that the Normans, conquered England. And so it's an early form of colonization. So English, the language, is a colonial language because it colonized the French. It's a combination of the French and the Vikings and Old English together, right? Because of that colonization of England back, however many centuries ago.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so I just thought of, it's just interesting to me that the language itself seems to have come out of colonization and is used by colonizers.
Yeah.
So
So
as if they don't have a choice about it, right? Because it's in their nature, in the language.
yeah. It's only recently that I've connected the two where our language came from the heart because when I was asked to copy and translate the word sincere, some of the material for Laurentian, something about a sincere effort in our next endeavor and blah blah blah, some big words there. And I was saying, well, why would we don't have that in our language? How can I translate it? Because we don't need that in our language. We don't bullshit and lie. We don't plan to lie or anything like that. It just happens to But in English, they plan to. So we're going to be honest this time and maybe not sincere next time. When you're speaking another language and you hear that people trying to ask you to translate a certain word, you can't find a word for it. When you take a look at if it comes from our language comes from the heart, that means it bypasses the ego, and it is
It bypasses what?
it bypasses the ego.
Oh, yes. Okay.
What about the exact, the meaning of, the sea liquids? Sea liquids.
Chimigwech. Chimigwech means big thank you.
Okay.
Big thank you. Chimigwech means it's deeper to the heart, I guess, deeper in the chimigwech.
Like gratitude?
Yes, gratitude. That phrase actually came from the English or another language, meaning thanks a lot. It means thanks a lot. So they say, oh, chimigwech.
Literally, the humbly gratitude with thanks.
Yeah. 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 So anyway, that's when Greg Braden does his presentation, he talks about the language of the heart. And I didn't know a lot of times. I didn't know he was literally speaking about that, the language of the heart. And then he started going, went on to say that there's at least 40 of these cells within our hearts, brain cells within our hearts. To be able to legitimize the fact that we are speaking from the heart. And the good thing is, there's no falseness and no arrogance, because it bypasses the ego, which what promotes the ego promotes arrogance. Bypassing that you don't bypass that when you're speaking from your head. There's arrogance in it. Oh, crazy. Which
She Miigwech.